Hello YouTube, what's up Facebook? It's Girl and I'm here back with another video from mikesbeautysupply.com. Today's video is basically going to be explaining how I like to upkeep my extensions, pretty much. As you can see, my hair is wet, and in this video today I'm going to be using a number of products. I actually just washed the hair. I'm going to be using the Jerry Reddings, as you can see. Jerry Reddings Polisher, Reflections Professionals Polisher. This is the new larger size. Organics Extra Virgin Olive Oil Smoothing Edging Gel, and Motions Leave-In Conditioner. You would need a blow dryer, flat iron, red by Red, made by Kiss. This is the 2-inch flat iron. And you need, I call this the wig brush, but a big tooth brush, as well as your regular basic hairbrush. These are all the tools that will be used today in this video. Like I said, I had just washed my hair. Yes, I like to wash my extensions. I have these in for about a month now, so I like to, make sure my hair stays clean and everything like that. I like to use leave-in conditioner whether or not I wash my hair. This leave-in conditioner is made by Motions. This is the spray version. They do have more of a creamy, non-liquefied version of the leave-in conditioner. Basically, you shampoo your hair, you put it in when it's damp, and you can leave it in. This ranged about $4.09 on mikesbeautysupply.com. Very reasonable in price. Next, we have the Jerry Reddings Professional, see the bottle very clearly, Polisher. Okay, this is for normal hair to dry hair. What this does is it allows your hair to not be as frizzy, because over time your extensions tend to get frizzy looking, or your natural hair gets all frizzy. This kind of keeps the shine, it keeps it looking silky without it being very heavy and weighing you down. You don't need to use much of this product. You can use it whether or not your hair is damp, or you can use it when your hair is dry. The Edging Gel by Organics. This is the edging gel I like to use, the smooth edging gel. You really don't need much of this either. You'll see what I use it for when we get further into the video. It's basically to keep your edges intact. This is more a styling when it gets to styling the hair once the hair is dry and so forth. Alright. How I like to use the spray-on conditioner, just spray a decent amount in your hair. Now, I'm using leave-in conditioner because, as you guys can see, I do have my natural hair that will be blended with the extensions. This is where the extensions are. All of this eventually will be blended into the extension, so you have to make sure you take care of your hair regardless. As you can see, since it's been a month, I have a lot of new growth, so the hair is much looser than it was, the extensions that is, from when I first got them done. That's normal, that's regular if they tend to lift a little bit. Some people pay some money to get their extensions tightened. I didn't do it this time around. I don't really see the point. I normally don't keep my extensions in longer than a month and a half to 2 months, and that's kind of pushing it for me. That's just a personal thing, depending on your upkeep on how you like your hair to look. Some people hurt his or her head. Make sure you get the back of your hair. I tend to have a lot of hair, more hair growing in the back of my head. As you guys can see here, this all have uplifted a little. This was never braided. I tend to keep my edges out. As you can see, the stylist who did my hair left hair out in the front, so that obviously I like to dry my hair. I used to take this big toothbrush. You can also buy this at mikesbeautysupply.com. And as I'm drying my hair, comb the hair. as it's being dried. Also, it takes a little while for your hair to dry when you're using a dryer and you have extensions in your hair. Mind you, your hair is braided down underneath. So you want to make sure that you dry it enough so that the hair that's underneath you, underneath the actual extensions, your braided hair, does not allow the water to seep through to the extensions once you try to style it or put heat to it. It won't curl. It won't hold curl. Is starting to dry. My actual hair is starting to dry. This always dries faster. And you have to be careful because sometimes you have to feel in between the tracks to make sure your hair underneath is drying. Sometimes it doesn't dry even though it feels like it dry because the top will dry first. Your ends will dry last. Now that my hair is all dried, as you can see, the mane, you can see my hair on the top. I rooted myself. Usually it takes about 15 to 20 minutes, 20 minutes to fully dry. Always check in between your braiding. Make sure there's no damp areas. Check your ends. Ends are dry. Okay, the next step to keeping the hair fresh, as you can see, if I was to just bump this hair, I'll give you an example. In my hair, do you see the area that I bumped? I'm like straightening out. It still has a frizzy look to it. That's when the jerry redding comes into play. Okay, you need a very minimum amount of it, a few drops. 1, 2, 3. So technically, you can't really see how many, but I would have to say quarter size. You spread it in your hands like this, as such. It's very lightweight, and you press it and you put it on your natural hair, wherever that ends and starts, and have it go through the actual extensions, all through it. Put it on your hair. Alright, make sure you get that in there nice and... As you can see, it adds shine without adding any like oil sheen or anything like that. Just kind of put it through the hair, through your hair. Okay, when it comes to styling my hair, get a comb, because obviously I always had a part the center of the hair, kind of spread it across and try to lay it how you're gonna lay it on your actual head when it's time to, you know, get to the blending and so on and so forth. Usually what I do is I take the hair itself, get a small portion of it, starting on the right hand side, left, right, whatever. Try to make sure your part is even. Yes, most people tend to have more hair on one side of their head than the other, or one side tends to be thicker than the other. Mine being my left side. This is the break in between where my natural hair starts and where the extensions start. Take the flat iron. Also, the Jerry Reddings formula only ranges at about $6.99. $6.99 for a bottle. Like I said, you don't need much of it. So you take the flat iron, you hold your hair, you bring it to the base of the head, close it, and as you're straightening turn, and bump downward. See that? You see the shine that the redding already gave it? You bump downward. And you just do that same motion around around your head where the hair is placed. Take your comb, make sure you get all your hair. And you do the same thing, but you'll be taking the flat iron to the base of the root of the hair, pulling and bumping again. You're bumping down, giving it a very light curl. Now eventually the curl will give out once you start blending the hair, because I will get to the point where I start bumping all of the extensions as well to really get the blending process started. And you go on the other side and you do it once more. It's really simple and easy. Take it to the base, hold, pull, and you comb it out. Make sure you get all where the tracks start. All of that needs to be covered, so there should be no tracks showing. You comb the edge hair more upward. Okay, make sure it's evenly distributed, your hair, laying down with the actual tracks. I'm going to turn around a bit so you can see the back of my hair. And kind of see it flat, how I'm just lightly going over it. Okay. The next thing we have is the Organics Edge Smoothing Gel. Again, this is what the bottle looks like. You can follow them on Facebook and Twitter. With this product, you don't really need much of it. I tend to say don't use too much because you don't want your hair to look welted down. Normally for my edges, I use about a dime size amount. And what I basically do is I go across my hair like this. So what it does is it smooths out your hair. Kind of gives it a nice little hold, and it gives it a shine. Like I said, I never tend to use too much of it because I don't like looking like I packed a bunch of gel on my head. You do the same thing evenly on the other side. Put a little bit of the smoothing gel with your fingers, and you brush it in with your fingers. Usually to keep my edges really smooth, if you want a really smooth finish, take a back end of a really fine tooth comb. Let me find my fine tooth comb. I usually take the back end of a fine tooth comb and kind of press the hair upward toward the extension area. Just kind of press with your finger and take the back of the comb, just like that. And as you can see, it makes my edges very smooth. It gives it a nice little shine.